Once a cross like this was full, occupied, engaged in exactly what it had been built for, holding tight the one that it was adhered to, clinging to him, holding on to him. Once, almost 2,000 years ago, a cross like this was completely full, absolutely occupied. Tonight, on this Good Friday night, the cross is empty. But I'll tell you what a witness it has been. A witness to the ugliness of sin, the ringing of nails being driven, shouts of derision, sad, quiet weeping below it, great suffering on it, first light and then darkness and bleeding and dying, ragged breasts and struggling, those circling around it, some of them sad, some of them just doing their duty, some of them so glad it was happening, the ugliness of sin. It was a witness, this empty cross. It was a witness to the will of God too. It is beyond our comprehension. Our minds cannot reach it, our reason cannot get there, that God would choose such a way. And yet we believe as his people. We cling firmly to this truth. The empty cross witnesses it to us tonight. This God the Father chose. This was his will, his purpose, his way, his desire, his design. And so this empty cross has a story for every one of us. You see, tonight, on this Good Friday night, the cross speaks to us. It tells us the truth about our need, that it's real. The cross shouts to us that our sin, yours and mine, it had to be paid for. It tells us that our guilt needed to be borne. It tells us out loud that our punishment needed to be taken. And it reminds us tonight that none of that was possible for you and me. The cross, this empty cross, it tells us the story of God's love too. How wide and high and deep, with skin and bones and sweat and blood and every breath, until the last breath. This is how much he loves us. Tonight the message is loud and clear. The cross exists because of us, because of you and me. And that's not all. Tonight, the empty cross reminds us, gives us this wondrous, divine reminder that there is no more work for us to do. Not for you and I to try to make up for our wrongs, our sins, our mistakes, our waywardness, nor to try to convince God to be pleased with us, to love us, to accept us. All of that's gone. There is no more. Loved ones, there is no more weight for us to carry. All the burden of our brokenness, all the rebellion of our hearts and souls and minds and lives, all of it the kind Father has taken in his hands off of our shoulders and hearts and souls and placed it on his holy and innocent Son. There is no more weight for us to carry. Tonight, the empty cross reminds us that it's all been taken care of. The one whose blood stains it made sure of that. Once it was full, occupied by the very Son of God himself, by our sin, our guilt, our rebellion. But on this Good Friday, that's all been taken care of. He did it for us. Tonight, his cross is empty, and we are forgiven.